Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Positively Douglasville. Today, I am so very excited to have a personal friend here with us in the studio. Her name is Susanne Hudson. We're going to have a great conversation. You're going to learn so much about your community and be ignited when we finish to volunteer and do some things in the community and try to live up to the great legacy that Susanne Hudson has set for us. So welcome, Susanne. We
Thank
really
you,
appreciate
Rochelle.
you.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you, as I've already said. You've been a dear friend for so many years of mine, and just a person that we look up to in the community. Your legacy is excellent. You haven't gone anywhere. You're creating it, and it's going to be so great. And you cast such a wonderful, positive shadow, like that big Christmas bulb that sits in your yard every year at Campbellton Street. You live in downtown historic Douglasville, and I just wanted to talk to you about some of the things that you've done in the community and just bring an awareness so that people will know what a rich heritage you've set for us and what a jewel you are. You're a hidden jewel that many people know, but some people do not know. So I wanted to talk to you today about some of the wonderful things that you've done.
You're sweet. Thank you so much. I don't like to talk about myself.
I know you don't. That's why I'm talking about you. But so we're to talk to you about your beautiful gardens for over 22 years. If you can just talk to us a little bit about your gardens at home and how they have been such an example and so beautiful that they could not have been ignored. They can't be ignored. You're always published because of your garden. So just please talk to us. And we're looking at these national magazines and even an international magazine.
Yes.
So
what a compliment.
Yes,
what a compliment.
ma'am.
But when I started my garden, I never dreamed it would be in a magazine. But when I bought my house in 1995,
Wow.
I started planting a garden.
Mm-hmm.
And you just get so enthusiastic every spring when everything starts blooming and coming up, and I just couldn't quit.
Yes.
So I just kept planting, and hydrangeas just became one of my loves because my grandmother had them, and most people's grandmother had them in their garden.
Right. You're right.
So it's like a historic plant.
Yeah.
And my house was a historic house, so I love old things, so it just kind of fit.
So your grandmother had the green thumb, or your mom, or who had the green thumb?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother.
I gardened with her. I would spend a month with her every summer,
Yes.
and we would dig in the dirt. So that was so much fun. I
Yes,
learned
ma'am.
so much.
Beautiful. My grandmother had a garden as well. She's from Mississippi, and so they moved to Ohio, and she had all these lilies, and I have a picture upstairs on my desk. It's a black and white picture. Her name was Lily May, and so she's standing in this field of lilies that she planted, the Easter lilies, and she had hydrangeas as well, but I called them Afro puffs. When I was younger, I didn't know. I said, "Hey, Mama, where are those Afro puffs?" Because when we grew up, my mother would pull our hair up in these ponytails, and we had little poofs on our head. And so I said, "Where are the plants, the flowers with the Afro puffs?" I never knew they were hydrangeas until I was a little bit older. But they're so beautiful. They're so vibrant. And you started the Penny McHenry Hydrangea Festival. Excuse me, that's a tongue twister in
Yes,
Douglasville.
it is.
So it's the 10th anniversary. Please talk to us about that.
Well, the Hydrangea Festival, we were traveling to a garden tour, and we saw Macon with all the cherry blossom decorations.
Yes.
We're like, why can't our community be all decorated and pretty like that? And so Jerry and I, as we were traveling, we brainstormed. And at that time, that year, was the first time my garden was published in Southern Living.
Wow.
So the timing was great. And Southern Living was kind enough to mention you could see this garden at the Hydrangea Festival in Douglasville. So, oh my gosh, you know how you throw a party and you're afraid nobody will come?
Yes.
Okay, well, the first year, that's what we did. We threw this big party, and we didn't know if anybody would come. But at 9 o'clock, or a little before 9 o'clock, people were lined up to get to come into the gardens.
Wow.
Oh, and it was such a great feeling.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
now it's 10 years old. We've had people from documented from 17 different states in the United States and 3 foreign countries.
Really?
And over 150 different cities in Georgia.
Wow.
I mean, that's tremendous for our town.
That is tremendous. There are only 159 cities, municipalities in Georgia, so most everyone has been. If they have not, they need to come.
That's right.
They
Don't
need
miss
to
it.
come.
Don't
That's
miss
right.
it.
Now, I remember that first year, and how it really cemented in my mind is that it was at Les Jardins, and Mr. Connolly had on a white dinner jacket.
Ooh, that
And
was
it
our ball.
That was the ball. That was the ball. He had on a white dinner jacket. I said, doesn't he look handsome? This is something really special. And so we had on ball gowns, and it was a beautiful tent because it rained, but it did not damper our spirits.
Not
it was
at all.
so exciting to come, and it was something new. And I don't know if there was someone from her family or who came that first year.
Yes, her daughter.
That's
her
what
daughter came.
That's what I thought.
Penny's daughter came, and she comes every year.
Oh, great!
She still does.
Wow.
She's very proud of having her mom named after the festival. So
wonderful.
it's very nice.
Now you were saying Southern Living. How many? Let's just show some of these Southern Living books. I mean, oh my goodness.
Well, this
How
is-
many times? Can you count the times?
I don't
This is
know. It's
Better
8 or 9, but
Gardens?
once
Wow.
you get photographed, I think they use your photographs in lots of different publications.
Wow, look at this.
So this is Better Homes and Gardens, and this is a book about Southern living. And the reason I love this book is they chose one garden from every Southern state. And of course, Georgia happened to be my garden.
Are you
So-
serious?
Isn't
For
that
the entire
great?
state of
Yeah.
Georgia?
What a
Suzanne,
compliment.
That is a
I'm
great
telling you, what a
compliment.
compliment.
Congratulations.
So that they published this, I think it's like 9 states, Texas and Louisiana and Tennessee and all. But mine was the Georgia garden.
Wow.
So that was a great
right
compliment.
here in Douglasville, in downtown Douglasville. So all of these magazines, just phenomenal. Now the international one, talk to us about that.
Yes.
How in the world?
I have no idea.
Is it New Zealand?
It's New Zealand, and I looked on a map, and that's a long way away.
That's a long way away. So let us see about the
This
New
is
Zealand.
New Zealand, and I love the magazine because
It's so
it
fresh.
it kind of tells you just down to earth things
Mm-hmm.
about your home and your garden and how to grow things and how to cook things and about bees and beekeeping. So it's
Really?
very a down to earth magazine. Which
Mm-hmm.
so it was a compliment to put this in here. I think they contacted the city to find out me. So see, the city is the vehicle of which this came from. They contacted the city and said, "Can you get us Suzanne's
Wow.
information?" So that was, but here it is.
Amazing. Look at that. Look at that. And on the garden tour, you can purchase a ticket and come in to view your beautiful garden. And actually, I was telling Suzanne, telling you that my daughters think it's like going to Callaway Gardens or something. They think it's a field trip. They're like, "Mommy, can we go back to your friend's house? I want to go in the tree in the clubhouse or something that you had for your granddaughter." So it's just amazing to them. And one year when I volunteered, because I was on the museum board, which we'll talk about some of your boards that you're
Yes.
on, and the Cultural Arts Council that you helped to, foundation to start. But I volunteered one year, and you had an artist painting and just. Oh my gosh.
That's so exciting.
It
to walk in,
is.
tour the gardens, any of the gardens that we have on tour, and there's artists sitting there painting what you're seeing.
Yes.
And they almost always sell their paintings.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, so it's developed so many of our culture, and it's not just about gardening.
That's right. It's fabulous. Really, it is home, and it makes you feel like that every year seeing a new plant come up or a new flower or something. It's like new life, a new beginning, and it kind of helps you feel like, okay, this is home.
It is. So every year
Yes.
we choose a different hydrangea.
Yes.
And this year's Ocean. So this is a book, and what we call is a schedule, and these are rules. The flower show is in the courthouse, 3 levels of flowers. And we have over 500 entries of flowers from our citizens.
Gosh,
I mean, that's
500.
Over 500.
Goodness.
That's incredible.
That is incredible. And the display is absolutely beautiful. There are nice bottles. Some of them are colored, and they're all in sections. And
All divided into what
my
type of
goodness.
plant they are. And the judging, we have judges from all over the state that come and judge our flowers. So,
Yes.
But I'm just so proud to say that many entries come from our citizens.
wow. So people are interested in it. It is something that everyone can do if you're a gardener, but if not and you just want to try.
Sure,
To
you don't have
enter.
to be a gardener. You can just cut something in your yard, a tree, a bush. It doesn't have to be a blooming flower.
Yes, ma'am. So this thing, tell us about some things before I know.
Okay.
There was one, Vince Dooley had a, yes.
We had Dooley hydrangea.
The Dooley hydrangea.
We did.
And I remember
So we've had
getting-
10 different hydrangeas, but this year it's Ocean.
It's Ocean.
And we are
Waves.
titling it Making Waves. And Rochelle, that means that we want every citizen to make a wave in their community. In other words, do something good for your community.
That's right. Whatever your interests are.
It is. I mean, you don't have to be interested in gardening. You can be interested in children or pets or anything or arts.
That's
Just
right.
volunteer.
That's
Just
right.
make your community a better place.
Wow.
So that's what we're emphasizing this year. And we want people to write down, I'd love to have one of yours, of how you're going to make waves, because we're going to post them all in the museum of how different people are going to make waves.
Gosh, that museum. Okay, that brings us to the museum. There's so many things to talk about. The museum, how many years has it been that you've transformed that old courthouse into a Douglasville museum?
99 is when we started the museum.
1999? Are you
I'm
serious?
serious.
Time flies.
I know.
And you have people, they just need to go. Give us the hours.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Save
We
your
are
old
so
stuff.
lucky to
Yes.
be open now from Tuesday through Friday from 10 to 5, and then Saturday 10 to 3.
Okay.
We are so fortunate to be open all those hours now.
Very good.
For years, we only had a few hours because we run completely on volunteers, so we're so excited to be open a few more hours.
That's good. And it's located on Main Street, on Broad
Yes,
Street.
right in the middle of downtown
Right in the middle
Douglasville.
of
Historic
downtown.
downtown Douglasville.
Oh my gosh. And when you go in, for me, the love is when you first walk into the doors and turn to the left and go into the old courthouse and you can see all those uniforms, the military uniforms. I sent a guy to see you, Colonel Nutbutter.
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully he called you. I'm just putting
Yes.
him on.
He did.
Okay,
he did. He
great.
came to see us.
Good.
And it was at the time we had the display down because we had the money to refurbish that room.
Oh, good.
So he's coming back.
Good, good, good.
It looks so good. We've gotten everything refurbished for that room. So you haven't seen it since it's been refurbished. So come soon.
I need to come and see that. And the records room, we're just talking about some of the rooms. The children, when they come, they were just enamored. They would go in there and see the lunch boxes and, old record players. And they're like, what is this? It looked like a big CD, I guess, for them.
But you know what I'm so surprised about? The children that are interested in rocks. We have a wonderful rock collection, and they just flock to the rock collection.
Wow.
It's so interesting what different ages come to at the museum, but it's always exciting to see them.
It is. And you have a place that has like not national heroes, but
Oh, Hall of Fame.
the Hall of Fame. There you go. I couldn't
we're
think of
so
the name.
proud of our
Elena
Hall of Fame.
Myers and the guy from Lithia Springs,
Walt
an actor.
Goggins.
He is phenomenal. He's so funny.
Yes,
He's a great actor.
he is.
The gentleman who did the it's a safari.
Red Palmer,
Yes.
who invented the tranquilizer gun for big game in our county in the 50s. And it's still used today. I mean, so we have some famous people from our county.
Can you believe that? And a songwriter?
Susanne Hudson wrote that great song, I Love the Nightlife.
Yes.
Everybody knows that
I
song.
know, it was so fun. So, oh gosh, just so Elena Myers, a bobsledder. We have another young lady who's made it to the Olympics and she in karate. So, my goodness.
I know, we'll have
baseball, was there some in baseball?
Yes, Taylor Phillips, who was
Taylor Phillips.
won a World
yes.
Series, and y'all named a field after him.
We sure did last year.
So great.
Yes.
He is such a great man.
Wow. And there's a section for African American history from the school, education, yes.
I mean, we have all kinds of sections, and we were just given a wonderful piano, a grand piano.
Oh.
And so now we are able to do music there. So we're so
Really?
excited to see how our museum has grown over all these years.
Wow. And you have headed up the museum.
Well, I have
That's been your baby. It just seems like
Well, it is my baby, but everything I do, I have tons of help, tons of volunteers
I
that help.
know, but we need someone at the helm, and you really have been that person for the museum and the Cultural Arts Council, which is another staple in the community. Talk to me about that. How
That was
long
over
ago?
30 years ago. I know.
It's still standing.
Yeah, that's really good. It's
It
still
is.
doing really well. And I mean, we needed an art center here in our community. But when we started, nobody even knew what an art center was. So
Wow.
it's transformed over all the years of how many activities and how many people they have touched, how many artists they've touched. It's just a wonderful thing for our community.
Yes, ma'am. They have that monthly art show that really highlights local people, local folks in the community. If you're a painter or if you have a garden, or they just highlight. And every month it's really interesting to see on the reader board who's going to be there for that month.
And everybody that comes to the Hydrangea Festival, of course, visits the art center.
Oh, good.
Because the butterfly garden is there.
Yes.
And so they visit that art center. I mean, so that has a lot of interest to go to the butterfly garden and see the art center during the festival.
Very good. One year, my daughters and I went out there and planted in the butterfly garden. It was we were trying to redo the seeds or grass or something, but it was so nice to see the butterflies coming by you. They're so wonderful. It's like a little whisper when they touch your
almost
face.
magic.
It is. That's what it is.
It's almost magic.
It's almost magic. That's perfect. So this old house, there was a program.
This old house.
Yes, there was something during one of the tours that you had playing in one of your in one of the rooms back there, because you just have to see, it's fabulous. It's like rooms outside. You can live in those areas that you have back there. So this old house talk to me about that.
This old house just put a thing together about kind of how I did an area, and they showed you how to do it.
So it's a living space outside.
So that was a compliment for them to come and do that. So because I always love that magazine, this old house, and there's TV shows where they fix everything.
Yes, ma'am. So do you watch HGTV, or you don't have time? You just do it yourself?
Sometimes I do, but I love it. Oh, and I didn't even tell you, but you might have known this, that my garden was on HGTV.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I knew that, but I can't. It's so much.
I know.
It's so much that you do. It's hard to keep up.
I forget about that, but there was a whole program on my garden on HGTV. Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful? Wow, Suzanne. Keep Douglasville beautiful.
Yes.
You work with them as well
do.
to keep everything, keep Douglasville beautiful. I mean, people think it is fluff, but when you go to a community, just like I was talking to someone about Charlotte, North Carolina, and Charleston, South Carolina, how beautiful it is when you see streets that are nice and there's flowers and trees and things are green and it's cleaned up, just like your home.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. I remember one year we had gotten some pumpkins from Les Jardins Blancs. They were white pumpkins. And I said, well, my house isn't as big as this big. You said, it doesn't matter the size of your home. It can be quaint. You said, just keep it beautiful. And I thought, that's the truth. It could feel, you just want things to be nice.
I know.
And
I laugh and say, Rochelle, because everybody usually has a set of silver that was passed down or something. Throw your stainless steel away and use that silver. Who are you saving it for?
I know it.
You're special.
That's right. That's right. And so that really, just
and we want our
keeping
community
flowers.
to be beautiful when we have guests.
That's right.
And to me, we're bringing all these guests in for this festival, so we want our community to be shining. And one of the great things they talk about are the mailboxes.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. We do ours every year. And it seems like if one or two people do it in the neighborhood, and it doesn't matter how far away you are from downtown, because at first it seemed like it was just the homes downtown or the homes that were on tour, but it's catching on.
Yes, we
so
want
every year
everybody's
they do it.
We want everybody's mailbox to be done because, I don't know, there's something festive about it when you drive down the street. And so, but that's one of the comments we get from the guests from out of town is how wonderful the mailboxes are.
Oh, that's really nice. And I know, like in our neighborhood, I had my mailbox done, and then the lady across the street, who's a teacher, did hers, and then there were 4 or 5, and now it seems like every year it just catches on. You're driving through the city, and you're like, oh, there are more mailboxes that have hydrangeas on them. So it's really, really neat. Now talk to me a little bit before we close about the awards that the flower show has garnered. There's so many that you can come to the museum to see.
There's a whole entire hall of awards. When we first started and did the flower show, first of all, we didn't know how many rules there were. There's a book of rules this big, and then all those judges come and scrutinize everything.
Wow.
We had no idea it would be going through that finely of every little detail. But anyway, we won. Our first year, we won top flower show in the state. Now, that means in our category, which our category is more than one garden club, because we have 3 garden clubs that work on it.
Okay,
So that's our category.
Uh-huh.
It's more than one garden club. But anyway, and then we won top flower show in the nation.
In the nation.
So,
in Douglasville, in Douglas County?
Yes.
Wow.
I know. So we have a whole entire hall of awards.
Gosh, just amazing. And then you feature something in the museum. Last year I had given you a hat because you had to loan for what was Sunday hats or something?
It was churches and hats.
Churches and hats.
And that was a great exhibit. Everybody just enjoyed that. We have a gallery in the museum, and it has changing exhibits. We usually do about 4 a year because it takes us a long time to put that exhibit together. We have a New Manchester High School exhibit there now. Art.
Oh, great.
Come and see it.
Oh, I need to see that.
It's beautiful.
That is our performing arts theme school, and those kids are so talented.
The art is fabulous.
Wow.
So then when that comes down in another couple of weeks, we are putting in an exhibit that you might have heard of, the Caught on Camera, the film trail.
Oh, no.
The film trail. And so we are going to feature in the museum artifacts from the movies that have been filmed in our downtown area in our county. So I think the signs are already going up to the sites with it's a camera. Oh my and you can come to the museum and get a brochure, and then you can go to your computer and click on and see what was filmed at those sites.
Pretty cool. So we'll see that McDonald's film.
Yes,
and all
you'll
of
see
that.
Some artifacts from that film. We got some uniforms and some different things that they gave us. So we'll have a lot of everything that's been filmed in Douglas County.
Wow, that is great. Now you want to talk about your family, and has it gone to the next generation?
Well, I have 3 grandchildren, which are so dear to me. Oh my goodness! So
do they love to garden or?
No, but they love the treehouse.
They love the treehouse.
They're not in the gardening, but they love to be at the garden. I remember when they were very little, and the backyard was kind of big, it was back there, and I said, now, if y'all get lost, you just come to the greenhouse, and I'll be there. And so that's what they would do when they were just very little.
How sweet.
But they loved being out there.
Oh, I know. Like Olivia says, Mommy, let's go on a field trip. Let's go to Miss Suzanne's house.
Well, I hope they'll come back soon.
We would love to. There's a last thing that I want to talk to you about, because this was exciting. We had the First Lady come to Douglasville for a book signing at the museum.
Oh, yes, Sandra Dill.
Yes.
We are so lucky.
Oh, my goodness. I could not believe that I was scurrying over there from a chamber luncheon to get to her and talk with her, and just that mansion. She had a book about the gubernatorial mansion, the governor's mansion, and how the homes, how it's changed on the inside, and what it's looked like, and it's the people's,
it belongs to the people, right?
Yes, and she was so gracious and dear, and that was the day I picked up my hat. The hat that I loaned was from when I worked for the agency, and I was in Moscow. So it's a big fur hat, Russian hat that you see, but it was all white. And so she said, what do you have in that box? I just thought she was really, really...
Wasn't she? And she was so personable and so patient.
She was. She signed all of the books. So that's one of my coffee table books now that sits there. That's signed from the First Lady, the governor's wife.
We're so lucky.
And she was in Douglasville.
Yes.
How do you get these people here?
We've had lots of people here that is famous. I don't know, Steve Bender, who's a garden editor, the Grumpy Gardener.
Oh, yes.
He's been here, and, Randy Jackson, the Idol judge, he's been here. We've had lots of good people here.
And Vince Dooley.
Vince Dooley, yeah.
I was just like, oh, my gosh, Vince Dooley's here talking about his hydrangeas. So all of this because of gardening and flowers and plants.
Isn't that interesting?
It is very interesting. God's beautiful gift to us, and that you appreciate it and make it more beautiful, make it accessible to people in the community. Thank you so much. And thank you and Jerry for just being having this brainchild for the Penny Hydrangea Festival that we have.
I can't thank Jerry enough. She is so wonderful. She's a rock about doing all this, and it's a lot of work, but I can't tell you how many hours of volunteer we have to
Yeah,
put
so
this festival on.
more volunteers.
Oh my gosh, volunteers are so important on anything you do. Yeah, you know that from any events the city has or anything, but the volunteer hours that people put into this festival is I can't even count. We can't count them. Thousands.
Wow. Wow. So I have enjoyed you today. Thank you so much for coming in. It's been a pleasure to serve on just the foundation that you've set for people like me that come into a community and want to get involved. So after being elected and I said I'm stay home with my kids, I was really happy to be able to roll up my sleeves and go, be appointed to the CAC board and museum board and the Penny Hydrangea Festival volunteerism. So that's
and you
really
learn
how
about your community.
I do, and you see people that sometimes their names are on streets, and you're like, oh, that's that person, Clinton Park.
Yes.
Just all kinds of things that you learn by being a volunteer. So this is one of the great areas that men or women, Mr. Joe Phillips, you can come in and join.
And be entertained.
And entertained.
Be entertained.
Yes, ma'am. So thank you for the opportunity and being welcoming to people who may not be, Georgians or from Douglasville for 3 or 4 generations, but someone like me to come in and want to do something in the community. You were very welcoming and smiling, you and Miss Jerry and everyone on the board. So thank you so much. Thank you for being who you are and helping to put Douglasville on the map. And another perspective and something so beautiful that's positive.
Positive.
Yes, ma'am. So you want to tell us anything else? Or
No.
No, I know you're shy about talking on camera, but thank you so much, Suzanne. Thank you for everything that you do. And you had a
You're
Christmas thing.
welcome.
There's a Christmas something you did, too.
Yes.
A Christmas house.
We did a show house to
Yes.
raise money for the museum. So we
Yes.
have to have fundraisers to continually raise funds to put on the exhibits that we do. So
Yes, ma'am.
get involved. Come to the museum. Just enjoy it, and then you'll probably want to get involved.
That's right. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Rochelle.
Well, you're welcome. This has been another session of Positively Douglasville. We thank Susanne Hudson again for being our guest today, and we invite you to get involved, be a volunteer, and come to the Penny McHenry Hydrangea Festival the first weekend of June to see the beautiful flowers, the flower show at the courthouse, or the tour, whatever else is going on, and put some hydrangeas on your mailbox.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day. Thank you.